Alright people, today I'm wanting to do a little wee SketchUp. I don't know if I want to call it a tutorial, but I've just got some new plugins for SketchUp 2015. The first of those plugins is called Place Shapes. It's free to download from the extensions warehouse, and you can install it quite simply through the Window, Preferences, Extensions, and install extensions dialog. You select the location from wherever you've saved your RBZ file. This is actually another, oh there it is, look, the Shapes toolbar version 1.rbz. You open that and it installs, and then you restart SketchUp and it's there. So it's actually a really useful little plugin. Before, if you wanted to create a sphere, for instance, in SketchUp, you'd have to make a disk, and then quite often you'd have to also make um, uh, some sort of cube shape like this. And the reason for that is you need this face, because then you want to draw a on this plane. So then you'd lock your inference on that plane, and you'd bring your okay, let me see now. Do it like that, say then for now, and then we will select that face. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can because it's all time, eh? There we go. Move it over like so, and then I can just move that into place. I'm doing this kind of freehand. I'll do a line. I'm trying to do my workflow very fast here, and obviously that doesn't always work then because you're skipping steps. Okay. Now basically what you need to do is your midpoint of your circle here needs to be in the midpoint of this circle here, along those sort of lines, right? That's not done accurately, so the results might be a little bit wrong basically. But let's see what happens when we do it, just for experiment's sake. Right, rotate. No, follow me in it, yeah. Follow me. Oh, I'll nearly erase that. Follow me around that line there. Okay, what we've actually done there is tried to, yeah, we'll do it the other way around. Make this follow that. What I'm actually trying to do is make this follow this. So we'll select that. In fact, we'll select that, yeah, and then follow me. There we go. Right. So that is a sort of quick example of the sort of process that would have been necessary without this Place Shapes plugin to create a sphere. Okay. It's not complicated. It's not difficult to do. It just takes a minute, you know. While you can just do that, and if you wish, scale it. Where's the scale tool gone? There we go. Yeah. So I know which I prefer to use. I like complexity, don't get me wrong, right? Anyway, I'm digressing. What am I trying to do today? This is just a little experiment I wanted to try with the new plugin. We'll try a cylinder, for instance, right? Okay, place a cylinder, and we'll scale that cylinder because I'm wanting it more this sort of size. Now, one of the things I'm not sure about currently, which I'll revise in due course, is how to scale to specific sizes. I don't know if that functionality is within the software or not, but it would be really useful if I could rescale it like almost like a parametric sort of scale tool, so I can scale any given object to a specific size or dimensions. Anyway, for now I'll leave it at that. Then what I wanted to do is, this object here is a shape, but I'm wanting the central portion of that shape, the centroid. Now, if I use my new, okay, well, there's a scale definition tool there, look, I don't know, maybe not. What I want to do right now is I want to explode that, okay? Now I want to find the center of this face, because I want to have another sphere, or not sphere, sorry, cylinder going through it, and I want that to be central. So I can select that face, and with my next new SketchUp extension, I can use the get face properties by right clicking on that face and get face properties, and it runs and it gives you all this information here, the area, the centroid from the origin node, and a few other values. I don't require any of that. What I do want is this: draw crosshair at centroid location. Click yes, and I've now got a crosshair there. To get that crosshair, otherwise would require some very careful construction line placement, and that's not always necessarily easy to do. Okay, anyway, it's not difficult, it's just fiddly, right? This is a lot easier. So I've got that there now. Next thing I want to do is I'm just want to draw a circle, and I want to pull that through. Oh, wrong face selected. I'm going to pull that through the model. Now what I would like to do is I'll make that into a component, and I'll just call it outer. Okay, don't matter, I'll just leave it at that. Right, okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to place a torus. Now I'm going to place the torus on the guide point in the group, which is so I know it's central, yeah? But now I want to place a line, hold on, excuse me, draw a line from there to there. That'll allow me to find my midpoint, and then I'm going to move that line from that endpoint. Oh, escape. Wrong object selected. I'm going to move that line now from that endpoint to the central or centroid there, like that. And now I'm going to select the torus, and I would like to move that torus to the midpoint of that line. And now I want to scale that torus. Now this is something else that I've been noticing. The scale tool, it's got its issues, okay? I'd like to scale the tool, or this object, but I'd like to scale it at, if I show you what I mean in here, if I scale it about the opposite points, it moves the center of the torus. I don't want that. I want the center of the torus will stay in its location. Now it might be that I've missed something in how that operates. And again, I'd like to be able to scale to a given size. You know, if I knew the dimension of this diameter here, of this inner cylinder. I would like to basically scale this torus up so that the highest point here would be the area that would be intersecting with the cylinder here. So I'm just going to budget the now, folks, because that time's ticking. Yeah, I'm just going to scale it up roughly, and then I'm going to move it back into position. Then I'm going to scale it again. Right, this object is becoming a bit of a nuisance, so I'm going to hide that for the moment, right? And I'll just hide that, right? And now I can select this object here, and I can scale it somewhat easier. Sort of like that. I'll need to move it back again. Go to my plan view. Where's my plan view? Right, okay. Now, have I got perspective on? Probably. Camera, yeah. I'll put it on the parallel projection, right? That makes things a bit easier. And then I can scale this then. Where's scale tool? There you go. And I can scale that then. See, again it's moving and it's really irritating for me. Right, and it'll also move it. I'll undo that in fact, because I don't know how that moved. Right, okay. Let's see if I try scaling it this way. That might be easier. And then move it back to the midpoint of that line. So we can see the outer or the inner diameter there. It's getting quite close to the high point on the torus now, but it'd be really good if I had some way to sort of scale this uniformly so that this point here intersected with that point there. Yeah. I'm currently I don't know how to do that. It might be simple. I just don't know. But for now, I'll leave it at that. I will now view hidden geometry. Right. Sorry, view. I want to unhide. Unhide. There we go. All. Right. So we have the two shapes and they're intersecting currently. Right. I need to erase this line as well. And I can basically erase that because I'm not going to do any further manipulation to it now. This is just a short little example of what's SketchUp is capable of. Right, the next thing I want to do now is I wish to subtract the torus from the, I don't know what you'd call this, cylinder. It's not a cylinder, it's a, don't matter what it is. And that's now been done, right? So I've subtracted the torus from this object, and that leaves me with it's basically meant to be a bearing race, okay? So I don't know if you can see that in there, but it looks quite nice. Now there is a plugin for doing sections. Doing sections within SketchUp is also possible. I don't do it very often, so I don't have that haven't practiced that basically recently, so I'm a bit unsure how to do it currently, but again that's another thing that I can easily pick up. There's a multitude of connotations and functions and commands and plugins to install for SketchUp. There's literally thousands of them, and you can't expect any one person to know them all. However, doing a section on any 3D model is a very useful a skill to have, and it's something I have done in the past. So I'm not going to say relearning, but revising that skill won't take me long. Okay. So anyway, that's a bearing race. You could then, if you wanted to, you could populate that with ball bearings. You need to do it in a more a better fashion than this. If I was to buy any bearing that looked like this, I'd be a little bit upset. Sorry, I'm not funny, I know. Right, anyway folks, that's my little demo into, I guess, making a bearing race, or subtracting and subdividing and whatnot else. Right, thanks for watching. I hope you found this useful and informative and interesting. So until next time, bye for now.